As I speak, there are empty basketball stadiums all across the United States. There is a lot of money that is being lost, a lot of people without jobs. So what is the cause for these empty stadiums, lost jobs, and lost money? And that is the 2011 NBA lockout. So what exactly is a lockout? It's a conflict between the NBA players and the NBA Owners Association concerning money. And the lockout also establishes the rules throughout the NBA. During the lockout, players cannot trade, cannot contact players, and the staff cannot access the NBA team facilities, trainers, or staff. Now, this is not the first lockout that has happened in NBA history. This is actually the fourth lockout in NBA history. But we're going to take a look at the previous one, which was in 1998 through 1999. That lockout caused a cancellation of 32 games. A deal was eventually reached, and there was a 6-year contract was accepted, and there was also a 6-year contract in 2005 that was accepted, which led up until now. And that 6-year contract played a part in this 2011 lockout. The contract expired in June 11th, 2011, and the Players Union and the owners started negotiations for a new contract. They started that back in January 2011. So, what causes a lockout? A lockout comes from many several reasons, but the majority of the reason is for money. As you can see in this picture, there's money lockout. The NBA owners were losing money, and the average salary for an NBA player was $5 million a player. And Post Sports states that players receive 57% of all NBA-related income. NBA owners, according to www.bettingbasketball.com, the NBA as a whole has lost over $300 million per year over the last several years. And 70% of the teams in the NBA lost money during the 2009-2010 season. So this is the reason why the owners wanted to reduce the players' share of revenue and put a cap on how much money that they actually paid each player. Now, the Player Union, which is the association of players, they disputed this and they didn't like the idea of what the owners had came up with. So they did agree to the reducing of their earning from 57% to 54.3%. But they firmly opposed the salary recap because they didn't make that cap on what the money that they made. So on August 31st and September 13th, the owners and the Players Association, they got together for another round of negotiations, but they still didn't settle anything on those rounds. Since then, the owners offered 50-50 split in profits, and the players changed the conditions on the team-based salary. The remaining preseason games were canceled as of October the 4th, and on October the 10th, the first 2 weeks of the regular season were canceled. Now, who does this lockout affect the most? There are a lot of different groups of lockout effects. So the first group is, of course, it affects the NBA players. There are NBA players who are more fortunate than others that they get endorsements and they get to do advertisements for McDonald's or Nike, and then some of them have the skills enough to go and play over in Europe. On the other hand, there's players that are not as fortunate, so they end up having to do different kind of work or trying to find different kind of work. Like Deontay Watts, who's a player, he ended up working for FedEx because he didn't have any money, so he had to find money somewhere. And the fans also are affected by the lockout. The fans, where majority of the money comes, and the fans buy all the merchandise, they buy the t-shirts, all that kind of stuff. So they're very affected by the lockout. And some of the fans are losing their loyalty to their teams because they don't get to play and they don't get to see their teams play. Local businesses and TV stations are definitely losing out money, like TNT and TBS, because those are the main stations that play the the basketball and play basketball games, and they have a lot of commercials. So commercials are losing out on money that can be seen throughout basketball games. And then businesses are losing a great deal of money. In Cleveland, WO10 reports up to 35% of downtown restaurants' annual revenue comes from the NBA games. And Portland says if the Trailblazers games, if they don't play, you lose a total of $59 million. And Oklahoma City claims that it will lose $60 million if Kevin Durant doesn't play this year. So in conclusion, as of now, all preseason games in the first 4 weeks of the NBA 2011-2012 lockout has already been canceled. The lockout will remain in effect until the National Basketball Players Association reaches a deal with the NBA owners. Thank you.